You said you wanted to talk.
Yes, sir. Ensign Raina Temple, formerly of the Chiss Expansionary Defense Force, reporting for combat drills.
I can show you a few things. What brings this on?
Frankly, I need the practice. No one ever taught me covert maneuvers. If you've got time...
Grab your equipment. I'll find a private spot.
Thank you, sir. All right. I think I've sweat enough for one day. Any last words of wisdom for your freshly transferred ensign?
Never let anything distract you. No one can compensate for your errors.
I'm confident it isn't so dire, but I take your point. You know, my father used to come home from exercises freshly scarred. I was 12 before I realized his training drills were intelligence operations. He was captured twice, but he wouldn't let me worry, no matter how bad it got.
I didn't know your father was part of intelligence.
I thought I'd mentioned it. He was a cipher. Thank you for the lesson. A few more and I'll be infiltrating enemy camps with the best of them. Sir, since our combat session went so well, I thought we might try something else. Lessons in interpersonal manipulation and information extraction. Lecture 1 entitled...
Once they think they need you, they'll tell you anything.
Descriptive name, sir. Is it always about need? When I first arrived at Zero Station, no one trusted me. I was the human Imperial who must have been a spy. But I learned my way around. And once the Chiss accepted my competence, it was easy to make friends.
Not all your marks will be as pleasant as the Chiss.
So suppose we're separated during an operation against pirates, say. How does your hand-trained operative play it?
You blend into the background and wait for an opportunity. Don't stir the pot unless you know what you're in for.
I'll happily leave that to you, then. I don't know what you think of my potential, sir, but I do appreciate your guidance. I've been deceiving people like an amateur for years. Time I started doing it right.
My good friend, allow an old man some sentiment and join me for a reminiscence. Today is the 13th anniversary of the death of Cypher 12, one of the finest agents I've ever worked with.
I've never heard of a Cypher 12. They don't mention our predecessors much.
Our history is fleeting, to say the least. Cypher 12 was one of the old guard from before the war. He cultivated allies on the fringes. By the time he received his Mandalorian brands, he'd also become verbally abusive in private, but he never cracked on the job. Always had a smile.
Were you partners?
I was technical advisor on several of his assignments, and we shared a taste in Mirialan cuisine. Eventually the odds caught up with him, and a Hapani royal assassin punctured his lungs. Inevitable, really. Are you aware how few ciphers survive past year 5?
The odds aren't good for any of us.
Quite so. I admire the line you walk between obedience and ingenuity. Unfortunately, your methods breed enemies. Be careful not to end up without recourse.
There's some truth there, I'll admit. We'll see what happens.
Friendly advice from one who knows. I've made it through a very long career by choosing my partners wisely. I've outlasted them all, and I intend to keep doing so.
Cypher, I had the most delightful conversation with Master Vector. Did you... I'm getting a feed on my earpiece. One moment.
I apologize. That's the third time this week one of my security alarms has gone off.
Where did you set up an alarm system?
I monitor all my safe houses as a matter of course. I have a few dozen around the galaxy. A precaution, really. I haven't needed them in years. Usually when an alarm goes off, it means a child has come exploring, or a rat has slipped through the ventilation shafts.
You've got havens set up. What's in them?
You know the sort. An abandoned building here, a fortified wine cellar there, stocked with necessities of the trade. Most of them aren't on the official books, but I assure you, they're hardly incriminating.
Remind me not to underestimate you, Doctor. If we ever need a sanctuary...
You'll have whatever humble aid I can provide.
Doctor, you wanted to talk.
Yes, and I'm terribly sorry to take your time, but I have a small request. To be frank, it's a bit of an embarrassment.
You have my undivided attention.
I told you before about my safe houses, how my intruder alarms have been going off. Well, I attributed it to local happenstance. I may have been mistaken. My safe house on Balmora exploded.
Would you like to elaborate on that?
Very much, but my scanners melted 0.7 milliseconds after activation. I could theorize regarding who did this and why, but truthfully, all I know is someone bypassed Imperial security to get inside.
I'll need to see the safe house in person. I'll return as soon as I can.
You could be walking into a trap. Stay alert, Doctor.
And you. Well, I'm afraid the news is mixed. My safe house did, indeed, burn to the ground, along with 3 would-be assassins who were attempting to wire it with explosives. Apparently, my security triggered their bombs prematurely.
Do you booby-trap all your safe houses? Or just the ones your enemies know about?
You make it sound like I used safe houses as bait. I did acquire genetic samples of the intruders. I'll be running traces shortly. One was a human male. The others, uncertain. Regardless, they used Imperial equipment and codes to get inside. Someone in the Empire wants me dead.
Supposing you're right, what do you intend to do about it?
The list of people with grudges against me is a long and varied one. It will be some time before I narrow it down. But I take comfort in the fact that I'm once again viewed as a threat. My days in retirement are over.
Seeing you return to this ship always warms my circuits, Master. It reminds me I am still functioning.
You wanted to talk?
Yes. The suns are warmer here. Nothing that smells so green when the gamma bursts come. Even the song can rest. We must go. Auras mingle. Apologies, Agent. Emissaries from our nest. They stowed away aboard the ship and have accompanied us since we left Alderaan. They're becoming quite sociable.
There was something you wanted to discuss.
The Killiks of Alderaan know little of the galaxy, only what they absorb through joiners. Our journey teaches them a great deal, but there is something that intrigues us, intrigues the nest. The fate of our lost kin.
What lost kin?
Alderaan has only a handful of nests, sleeping beneath the castle lands and awakening every few centuries. The other Killiks migrated off-world millennia ago. No one knows what became of them, or whether they survived. But the migration is a primal memory. We miss them.
If the Citadel has any record of Killik encounters, we can find out.
We appreciate that, Agent. It may help. We don't know if it's truly important to find them, but as Dawn Herald, we'll be watching. We've been dreaming lately. Great Spitcrete vessels weep dew above the castle lands. Their engines scorch the air. Dart ship swarms shade the sky, humming a song of farewell. We remember the Great Migration, when the lost nests departed Alderaan.
You said no one knew what happened after the other Killiks left.
We still don't. But our travels have caused a buried memory to surface. In our dream, there is a mosaic that mirrors the stars and shows us the lost one's destination. We request leave for a pilgrimage, Agent, to follow the first steps of the migrant Killiks.
You think the lost nests are still out there?
It's been millennia since the migration, and we doubt we'll see more than dust or petrified shells. Still, the journey honors our kin. We're already packed.
I'll be here when you're done. Take care of yourself.
And you.
So, you made it back from your pilgrimage.
Our journey is over. We saw strange worlds and markers set in stone and frozen lakes of steaming colors, but no Killiks. The colony found planets that suited them, but none that could support them. They divided into 1,000 nests, each going its own way, to 100 different stars.
I know this isn't the end you were hoping for.
We forged a connection to the lost colony. Even if we didn't find it, this means a great deal. In any event, we're sorry. What? There is a scent here.
You're not giving up already. We apologize for surprising you, but it took time for us to become aware of your presence. More to find you. But we welcome you nonetheless. We are Daizana, of the Lesai Nest.
Daizana. I represent the Sith Empire, along with Vector Hillis.
Yes, but are you Vector?
Daizana of Lesai. We are Dawn Herald of Oroboro.
Oroboro? We barely recognize the scent. We thought we'd lost the nests of Alderaan until you followed. Our fleet ship pursued you here. The colony still exists, spun across the stars. Our nests still kin. 1 trillion and more Killiks will dance and sing tonight.
Your ship followed Vector on his way back from the pilgrimage.
Even after he was gone, he left an impression we could follow. Our emissaries are not far from your own. Let them touch and bring knowledge.
Yes, the Lesai shall rejoice. She offers dancing and membrosia, the chance to walk the tunnels of the Synapse Comb.
The Dawn Herald must come with us. As his partner, you may accompany and share in our joy.
I'd love to see a Killik celebration lead the way.
Don't worry. We'll be out before the pheromones bond to your system.
The Membrosia runs in golden rivers.
You're doing well. Accompany the joiners if you wish. Morning comes soon. We're impressed. You held up well. More to the point, you brought together the fragments of an ancient people. We can't fully express our gratitude. We hear the singing of 1,000 nests and are at peace.
I'm glad you're in high spirits. Call it a day, then.
Agreed, Agent. Agent, we've had time to think since reuniting the Killik colony. Not that our work hasn't kept us busy, but we didn't actually thank you for allowing our pilgrimage. You should come with us next time.
No need to thank me. You ever need support, just say the word.
We'll try not to make you regret that offer. In any case, we should get back to work. We promised Kalia we'd keep the hatchlings away from her quarters, which means some training is in order.
The last thing we need is infighting among the crew or bugs under our pillows.
Spoken like the warrior poets of old. Let us know if anything comes up. We are ready to move when you are.
How are things, Vector?
Agent, when we communed with the other nests, we saw a force for change in the galaxy. There are Killiks as large as starships and as small as mites, joiners from 100 species on 1,000 worlds. We mean to report on the Killik colony to the diplomatic service.
The Killiks are a force to be reckoned with, and the Empire should know.
If the service can make entreaties to the colony, if we make them an ally, we'll have a foothold in the unknown regions. We'd have access to Killik craftsmanship, joiner information. Even without their military support, they would be invaluable.
What would an Imperial Killik alliance take?
We've outlined a proposal. The Killiks want peace and resources, and the Empire can offer both. And if the Empire doesn't make allies of the Killiks, someone else may get to them first.
However I can assist, say the word.
We'd ask you to sign off on the report. Other than that, we'll keep your offer in mind. Thank you. Agent, we heard back from the diplomatic service about our proposed alliance with the Killik colony. Our report was soundly ignored. It seems we have less credibility than we thought.
You worked for them for years, and this is what you get.
We are twice compromised. No longer human, and no longer a diplomat. A colleague named Fulner S. sent the update on our report along with a message. He wants us to call him, accompanied by our handler. We believe he means you.
Put him through, we'll see what he wants.
Master Hillis, I'm so glad you got my message. How are you? How's Anya?
Anora. We haven't seen her in some time, but we hear she's well. And your son?
I'm stationed on Balmora, still hoping to join the Shadow Fist. And you must be Cipher 9. It's my privilege to meet you. Rest assured, I went through channels to arrange this. Imperial Intelligence has agreed to loan me Vector so long as you're amenable.
Tell me your proposal and I'll see what we can do.
My superiors don't see the wisdom in Vector's advice. I do. Yet I lack the authority to force the issue.
Someone is blocking you?
Tarab, Sabini, the usual crew. If I'm to win them over, I need influence. Vector, with your ties from the service and the colony's knowledge, I could amass a string of victories. And the more I succeed through your consultations, the better chance your Killik Imperial Alliance comes to pass.
We'll help your career. And you work for us.
As you say. I'll be in touch with specifics.
We appreciate your help, Agent. We'll make it worthwhile, to you, to the Empire, and to the colony.